So today our topic will be reaction of metals. Metals. Number one with chlorine, number two with hydrogen, and number three with other salt solutions. Okay, dear? So we have three modules today. Number one, we will see how metals react with chlorine. Number two, we'll see how metal react with the hydrogen. Okay, dear? Number three, we'll see how metal react with other salt solutions. So one by one, we will discuss all the three. First of all, we will take a reaction of metals with chlorine. Okay, dear? So we'll take reaction of metal with chlorine. First of all, the chlorine, it's a electronegative element. It accepts electron, and metals are the atoms which donate the electron. Okay, dear? Now, when metal react, मैं यहाँ पे लिखूंगा, I will write here metal react with chlorine. And what it will form? It will form a substance that is known as metal chloride. Okay, dear? There is the formation of metal chloride. Say, I'm reacting sodium with chlorine. Na plus Cl will give NaCl. Okay, dear? Sodium is reacting with chlorine to form sodium chloride. Now, we'll see where from this chlorine we will get. As we know, we have already taken this chlorine is present in hydrochloric acid. Okay, dear? Hydrochloric acid. So, we have already discussed these reactions. ठीक है बेटा, हमने पहले ये reactions जो है discuss की है. हमने वहां पे we have taken hydrochloric acid. Now we are directly reacting sodium with chlorine. And what is the product form? That is salt, NaCl. This is sodium chloride. So chlorides of the metal are formed. As we have seen here, the chloride of metal is formed. So here the metal is sodium, so the name will be sodium chloride. Okay, dear. So we have to balance this because chlorine do exist in the form, diatomic form, that is Cl2. Okay, now we'll balance this. It means two atoms of sodium react with one molecule of chlorine to form two molecules of sodium chloride. Similarly, the calcium will react with chlorine. So second atom we will take, metal atom, that is calcium. It will react with chlorine, will form calcium chloride, and the formula will be CaCl2. So calcium chloride. Now, this is a balanced reaction. Similarly, zinc will react with chlorine. So zinc will react with chlorine. It will form zinc chloride. It will form zinc chloride. The formula of zinc chloride is ZnCl2. ZnCl2. Similarly, magnesium will react with chlorine. So we are taking atoms one by one. Okay. Now we'll take magnesium. Magnesium will react with chlorine to form magnesium chloride. So the reaction is magnesium reacts with chlorine to form magnesium chloride. To form magnesium chloride. So what is this? This will be chloride of metal, and these are usually salts. These are usually salts. Similarly, we will take iron, Fe. It will react with chlorine. The product formed will be FeCl3. FeCl3. Now, this FeCl3 is known as ferric chloride. This is known as ferric chloride. So the product formed will be ferric chloride, FeCl3. This means this reaction is not balanced. So we have to balance it. First of all, we are seeing on the right hand side, there are how many atoms of chlorine? There are 3 atoms of chlorine. On left hand side, we have only 2 atoms of chlorine. So in order to balance, we have to take the common factor. Now, what will be the common factor? That is, we'll write here 2. 2 3s are 6. So here we'll write 3. Okay, 3 2s are 6. Now 2 iron. So we will here write 2. So the statement of the reaction will be two atoms of iron react with three molecules of chlorine to form two molecules of ferric chloride. So simply, we have to remember that metals react with chlorine to form metal chloride. These metal chlorides are usually salts. Okay, dear? These are usually salts. Here, the metal is actually a donating atom, and chlorine is accepting atom. This accepts the electron. So simply, it is transfer of electron from metal to chlorine, and the product formed is usually chloride of the metal, and this we call as metal chloride, and these metal chlorides are salts. So this was all about the reaction of chlorine with the metals. Okay, dear. Now we will take a reaction of hydrogen with the metals. Reaction of hydrogen with the metals. Second one, reaction of hydrogen with metals. So we have to remember something. I'll write here reaction of metal with hydrogen. What we have to remember is that hydrogen will react with those atoms. Hydrogen will react with those atoms which are more reactive than hydrogen. Usually, the reactivity series, if we see the reactivity series, the atoms which are placed above the hydrogen in the reactivity series, they will react with the hydrogen. So more reactive metals will react with hydrogen. So it means a few of the metals are reacting with hydrogen to form the hydride. Okay, dear? What they form? They form hydrides. So on reacting, so we will write on reacting with hydrogen, metal form. What they form? They form hydrides. Which hydrides? That is metal. They will form the metal hydrides. So we will take example. So a few atoms which will react with the hydrogen, those are sodium, potassium, calcium, and magnesium. They are more reactive than hydrogen. So reaction will be accordingly. Now we will take one by one some atoms which are reacting with the hydrogen. So and the product formed will be as hydrides. So we will take one by one a few atoms. First of all, we will take the reactive metal, that is the sodium. The sodium will react with hydrogen. Okay, dear? Sodium will react with hydrogen to form sodium hydride. And that will be like this, NaH. The product formed will be NaH, sodium hydride. This indicates that the reaction is not balanced. So we have to balance it simply. Now see, there are two hydrogen on left hand side, one hydrogen on right hand side. Okay. Now simply we will write 2 here. It becomes twice NaH. This is sodium hydride. Okay, dear. This is sodium hydride. Now there is two hydrogen. But when we just place 2 here, it becomes twice sodium also. So what we have to do? We have to write 2 here also. That means the statement of the reaction will be 2 atoms of sodium react with 1 molecule of hydrogen to form 2 molecules of sodium hydride. So second, potassium is reacting with the hydrogen. Potassium is reacting with hydrogen. So K plus H2 gives KH. Okay, dear? KH. The hydride of potassium is only KH, potassium hydride. Now we have to balance it. So we will simply write 2 here and 2 here. Means 2 atoms of potassium react with 1 molecule of hydrogen to form 2 molecules of potassium hydride. Similarly, this calcium will react with hydrogen. As you know, calcium is double positive. Yaad rakhega. Calcium is double positive. It is reacting with the hydrogen. So it is hydrogen molecule. The product formed will be CaH2. CaH2. Okay, dear. So there is sharing of the electrons. CaH2. Okay, dear. Now see, it's a balanced chemical reaction. Similarly, magnesium will react with the hydrogen to form magnesium hydride. Now, what is this? This is calcium hydride. Calcium hydride. Okay, this is potassium hydride. This is potassium hydride. Okay, dear. Now see, दो इलेक्ट्रॉन दे रहा है कौन? Two electrons are donated by magnesium. Okay, it is reacting with the molecule of hydrogen. So we'll write the reaction. Magnesium is reacting with molecule of hydrogen. It will form magnesium hydride, MgH2. So it is magnesium hydride. Okay, dear. It's magnesium hydride. So we have seen that the metals, more reactive metals, which are more reactive than hydrogen, or which are above the hydrogen in reactivity series, among them a few atoms or metal atoms react with hydrogen to form the corresponding hydride. Just like sodium reacts with hydrogen to form sodium hydride, potassium reacts with hydrogen to form the potassium hydride. Similarly, calcium reacts with hydrogen to form calcium hydride, and magnesium reacts with hydrogen to form magnesium hydride. And you should remember that the calcium hydride is also known as hydrolith. One thing you have to remember, that the hydride of calcium, or calcium hydride, is known as hydrolith. Okay, dear? It's known as hydrolith. Hydrolith. It's LITH. Hydrolith. Okay, you should remember this. It is hydrolith. Now we have to take reaction of metals with other substances. So how this reaction will occur? This is actually the reaction which we have already read, that is the displacement reaction. So when we are reacting metal with other salt solution, what does we get? We are getting a displacement reaction. So we'll write this statement here, dear. First of all, so metal reacting with, metal plus salt solution. Say this is metal A, this is the salt solution of metal B. What we will get? We will get salt of metal A plus B. This will happen only when we are having more reactive metal on the left hand side. Means a metal which is more reactive than the salt solution of the metal will displace metal from salt solution. Say here it is metal A, so this is the salt solution of metal B. Now this metal will react with salt solution of metal B when this A is more reactive than B. Okay, dear. When A is more reactive than B, then what will happen? We will get salt solution of A. So this will displace the B. Okay, dear. This will displace the B, and we will get a metal B, separate metal B. Okay, the reaction will be accordingly. So we will take some examples, a few examples, like I'm having here a reaction that is copper sulfate, or CuSO4. This is copper sulfate, CuSO4. I'm making this to react with iron. Okay, I'm making it to react with iron, Fe. So the solution formed will be ferrous sulfate, FeSO4, and we are getting a separate element, that is Cu, copper. Okay, dear. We are getting a separate copper. So if we will try to reverse this reaction, the reversal of reaction will not occur. Okay? Because iron is more reactive than copper. So similarly, if we take silver nitrate and make it react with the copper, so we are making copper to react with silver nitrate solution, AgNO3. It will react with copper. What will be the reaction? That will be a copper nitrate. Okay? That will be CuNO3. CuNO3 twice, plus we are getting silver. Now we have to balance this. Okay, dear, we have to balance this. It means we have two nitrates here. So here is one. So we are writing 2 here. It becomes 2 nitrate, but silver 2 right here. Twice Ag. Okay, dear. This is now a balanced reaction. तो हमने क्या देखना है? यहाँ पे इंपॉर्टेंट है कि ये जो हमारे पास सोल्यूशन है, दिस इज इन एक्वस फॉर्म, दिस विल बी सॉलिड फॉर्म, एंड वी आर गेटिंग वंस अगेन एन एक्वस सोल्यूशन, एंड दिस विल बी सॉलिड. Similarly here, this is the solution, so aqueous, so solid, and here we are getting aqueous solution, and this will be solid metal. Okay, so this is all about the reaction of metals with a salt solution. So यहाँ what we have to remember that the metal will react with salt solution when metal itself is more reactive than the salt solution of metal. Okay, dear. Say we have metal A and we are making it to react with salt solution of metal B. If A is more reactive, then it will displace B from the salt solution. It will form the salt solution of A, and we are getting metal B. So we have to remember here, this is a type of displacement reaction. So metal with more reactivity will displace metal in solution having less reactivity. So more metal will displace the less reactive metal.